Hi guys, welcome back to the show. It's Estelle here, and I'm so excited to be back with you. A little bit nervous. It's been a bit. It's been some time. I took some time off and navigated a cool, amazing, unique transition of mine. As you guys might remember, that I started my master's in music and music education this year, and now I'm currently in the New York area or commuting to New York for my summer classes at Columbia. If you remember, I have virtual classes throughout the year, and then over the summer I'm in person in New York. And so, yeah, that's where I am now. And I'm very excited to be in that journey and sharing that journey a little bit. But yeah, I needed to take some time to settle and to just figure all that out. And yeah, I'm excited though, because I get to meet up with some people who I've had on the podcast before, who live in New York that I hadn't met in person. And I also just get to take voice lessons in person on campus and get to know the campus and whatnot and start taking classes. And I'm very excited. And it's just all new and it's all great. And it's just exciting. It's exciting. And so thank you for, still coming back and listening, being a part of this ride. I've been sharing on Instagram and my TikTok just a little bit about the journey and the behind the scenes and stuff. So you're always welcome to follow me over there at Estelle Avberry. And I'm always here for you as well. And I want to continue to share the journey with you as I become and grow and develop as a performer and a performing arts teacher. But I also want to continue to inspire and encourage and empower you to also start your journey and to continue your journey and to build confidence along the way in yourself, especially as a singer, as a performer, as a creative, as an artist. We need you. Your art matters, your craft matters, your passion for the arts and theater and performing and singing and storytelling and creativity, it matters. And so I'm here to continue to encourage you in that. And I'm excited for today's episode, which I hope will also be very encouraging to you and also very practical, especially if you are in the theater world, if you are an actor, if you are a performer, if you are a singer, and you want to be performing on stage and you want to be in musical theater, especially, or in theater at all. This episode is going to be really, really interesting to you. And not only for actors, but even stage managers as well, because we are talking about the union. We're talking about some terms and some just details that we haven't really gotten into in depth in this show before. So I'm excited for you to hear more about that and maybe ask more questions, or if you want us to talk about things more, then you can let me know. But I have actually on today someone who's been on the show before, someone who I will be meeting up soon with in New York City. So keep an eye out on Instagram and TikTok for that. But yeah, I have Spencer Martinez back on the podcast. I don't know if you guys remember, but she's been on the show before, and she talked about her journey to the performing arts space and being an actor and performer, and how she started her brand. And now we actually go into that as well here, but a little bit more in depth too. So Spencer is a New York City based performing artist. She's an actor, singer, and dancer, and she's the founder of Limelight, which we talked about last time. Limelight is an online community, a forum, and a blog that's really working to establish a more equitable, inclusive, and accessible theater community. Okay, she's very, very passionate right now, especially about helping performers who are in the non-union performers, right? And so we're gonna define some terms in this episode, right? Such as union versus non-union. What does that mean? What is the union? What is the actors and stage managers union? What does that even mean? We're just going to discuss important work and auditioning and how we can make that more equitable for non-union actors, as well as some other things. And of course, you're going to get your encouragement, you're going to get your inspiration as always. And so I'm excited for you to listen in. I hope this helps you. I hope this inspires you. I hope this empowers you. I hope that you also have more questions and that you will let me know if you have any other questions that you want me to ask Spencer about or that you want to ask her yourself, because you are absolutely free to, and you'll be able to connect with her as well. So yeah, let's get into the episode. I cannot wait for you to hear it. So without further ado, let's welcome back Spencer Martinez.
All right. So we have Spencer Martinez back on the show. If you guys don't know, Spencer has been on the show before, and I definitely would have said it in the intro, but I'm really, really excited to have her back. She was such an amazing, amazing guest last time, and I'm just so excited that you're back, Spencer. Hey.
Thank you for having me again. It's so funny just to like catch up and be like, oh my God, what's going on with you? What's happening? And
Literally.
then it's really great. It feels amazing.
For sure, for sure. And it's like we've only met virtually, but I feel like we're already friends. And so
Truly.
I'm glad that everyone gets to witness it and just like this is what happens. This is what is the beauty of like the artistic community and like community of performers when you are supporting each other and not like trying to tear each other down, but like actually supporting each other. Like, you meet people that you can be inspired by and that you can be encouraged by and you get encouraged too. And yeah, it's just so cool. So thanks for being back.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if like the world was like all theater people, it'd be so great. Supportive theater people, it'd be
Right.
really,
No,
really
no,
great.
for sure. I'm absolutely, absolutely in agreement with you. Like, I think back to like all my theater like moments, my theater friends, and I'm like, I'm already like invite them to the wedding, invite them to the wedding, invite them to the wedding. You guys know I'm wedding planning. So I'm like, that's what it is with in the theater industry. I feel like in the theater community when you're like have that community. So that's
Absolutely.
awesome. Yeah, well, for anyone who hasn't listened to the first episode or just doesn't remember or doesn't know you, just give us a little bit of info about who you are, Spencer, as a person, as an artist, and then we're going to get into what you're up to right now, what you're doing, and how you're impacting so many things, actually. Like you are doing the thing as not only an actor, but like an advocate for actors, which is so cool. So I can't wait to get into that. But like, tell us a little bit about who you are. You can just tell us anything.
Um, my name is Spencer. I'm a Virgo, so that could pretty much tell you exactly what I am. I'm very organized. But, I used to run an app called Limelight, which helped actors and teachers connect together, and there would be like a rating system. So it was like a safe way for teachers and students to like meet, because when you go into a voice lesson, sometimes you go into someone's house and you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
what is going on? I don't know this person. I don't know. It could be a little sketchy. But it also showed a way for the industry to be more accessible. And our industry really isn't. And that was kind of during COVID. And I was seeing like the way that business was going, and I was losing myself as a performer. And I had to really stop and think and be like, okay, one, I just bought an apartment with my husband, and what can we afford? Like, it's expensive to run an app. I was spending like 3 grand a month on a job, on a nannying job, and going to classes. It's just like not possible. So I took a step back from Limelight and always kept up the forums, which was helping actors ask questions or tell other actors what it was like to work at different theater companies over the United States, and to be like, all right, I really love this place. They really treated us fairly, or this was really not a safe
Mm,
place to work, which is crazy that that's still a thing. And those are non-union and union theater houses. So it's that's not good. But I've always kept that the forum open, and then I really just focused now. I'm taking class, I'm auditioning more, and taking voice lessons, which I can now afford, which is crazy. I mean, I moved to the city as a performer 2018,
mm,
and I was never able to afford classes because I had loans, like student loans, and I paid off all of my loans within like 3 years, because I was like, I'm not, yeah,
Wow, that's awesome.
I, it, it was, and I'm looking at the side, like, yes, I'm so happy I don't have any more student loans, but I was like so unhappy because I was just working like 50 hours at a restaurant that like was not fun. Like it was, the people that were working there were great, but it just wasn't what I thought the city
Mhm.
was going to
It
be.
wasn't what you were
And then
meant to be. What you were meant.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like I came here, I came to New York, I came to sing, and you're like,
Yep.
I'm waiting tables every day and I can't even go to an audition because I'm paying off this loan. So now, which is it's really great, the way Limelight has worked out and the way I'm doing some content creation, I'm able to afford class now, which is really crazy. So yeah, and taking different kinds of classes is just not accessible for the actor, and really focusing on what you maybe like this month it's taking specific dance classes and then next month it's you're taking an acting for film TV for that month, and kind of going to seeing which one you really really love, and you don't have to do everything.
Yeah, that's so good. I'm so happy
Yeah,
that you're in that place where you can focus you can focus on your craft,
yeah,
which is
for
really
sure.
such a like it's amazing. It's a blessing, but it's also like it should be the norm, right? Because you're an actor, like you're a performer, so you should
Yeah.
be acting and performing, like you know what I mean? But of course, sometimes you have to, kind of you have to balance that with like, okay, how am I, what else do I need to do to support myself? But you found a way, which I just love when I see artists doing this. It inspires me so much because that is my goal to, support yourself as an artist doing the things that you want to do as an artist, whether it's creating content, helping others,
Mhm.
other actors and other performers. You've created what you've done really is that even though you decided you made that pivotal, like really important for you decision to kind of close down that part of Limelight that was what it was, the app. You had created like a brand for yourself. For yourself, you'd created a community as an actor and as an artist, which is so important. And then you were able to like, it's like whatever you did, we are all gonna still follow you. Like we're all gonna still like support you because you'd been of such service to people like me and like other artists who like needed someone to say like, yeah, like I'm an actor and like this is what I'm doing. And like here are some tips. Like here are some like you were that light, you were that limelight. You were um person that other artists needed at that time, especially coming out of COVID, and like the tail end of COVID, middle tail end of COVID. You were that person who was an inspiration and an encouragement. And you built that community just by serving and by like loving and by sharing tips and advice and actually like really helping people. And so I mean, it's like well deserved that you now can do what you really want to do. And I'm so happy for you. That's awesome. That is what artists, that's what we should be doing. Is like building that community, um, be helping others, building that community and like sharing our art and like just and then developing more and doing more of what we really want to do as artists. So I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. That
So
no, what you said was really sweet. There's definitely times where I'm like, oh my God, I'm not helping enough people. And I feel like guilty because I'm not like running this thing
mm,
that I thought I was going to be doing. But now with the non-union list, I get to do that on the side, which has been really good. Like, okay, like right now we're working on like the non-union list.
mm,
So when you're non-equity, you usually have to wake up at like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. to go down to the list, sign your name up on like a notebook piece of paper to be seen at an equity call, an ECC or an EPA. And one, it's not accessible for people that have jobs. For people that have disabilities, it's not because you're waiting out in the cold. And the area that you're signing up your list is not safe. And if I could let any actor know that they're just coming up to audition and they're like, I don't know anything, just be aware of your surroundings because there have been actors that have been assaulted and like that's really not okay.
yeah.
Um, And if like I could just make sure that everyone feels safe just signing up their name, that would feel really good. So we're working on this. I actually just sent a huge email out to different casting directors asking for their support, which is really great and exciting. There was a moment where I'm like, is this going to ruin? Why would it ruin like
No.
my craft? But also like, oh my God, what if this is bad? And then you had to just do a little mind shift and be like, well, it's really something I believe in and it's helping people. So I don't think there's anything wrong asking for, hey, just a little signature, just a little name. But we have over 700
Yeah.
700 signatures for this list for equity, which is really, really great. And our letter is explaining what we would like to do, and to help make the industry a little bit more accessible for the actor.
Yeah, this is really important. I'm looking through the letter here, and I want
Yeah.
you to, yeah, I'm definitely excited that you transitioned. We're definitely going to get into this because this is really important. I'm looking at it. First of all, it's so well crafted. Oh my gosh, she's a genius, you guys. She's a
It wasn't
genius.
just me. It was like, so once a month we have actors come like in a Zoom meeting,
Yes,
all kind of
yes.
talk, get to know each other. And we really have this like little community. They're like, hey, what's everyone do? It's really, really great if you want to pop in. I'm trying to figure out when the next meeting will be. It'll probably be like starting now once a month.
Okay.
But just seeing like where that goes. But yeah, it's such a good community where people are really care about the next generation of actors,
Yeah,
which we have never been told to think about anyone but ourselves because it's like it's a one team game, like, and it's you, like, you are the only person on your team. And you're like, that's not true. Like,
yeah,
if you have other people saying your name in the room, like, that helps. Like, if
one,
you have a community, that helps. So it's really, really important to find that community, but also make it as organic as possible because when you're like, I just met you. Can we go out? Like, but actually that is us though too, because we're like, oh my God, we should get drinks. But there's sometimes where it's like not organic and not real. And
yeah.
this is where I'm trying to like cultivate that experience for people.
Yeah, there's so much that you said. Okay, so we're gonna get into the community because that's so good. And I think that's so important for us as artists and actors to know. So this show is really like the people in this community are kind of like starters, are kind of like at the beginning of the journey a little bit, or
Totally.
like they've gone out of it. Maybe they worked another job, right? And then they're like
Hmm.
to come back to it. They're starting to want to do community theater, or they're wanting to start singing a bit. So,
Yeah.
with all that being said, there's like everything that you're saying is so good, and I want to like break it down so that way we can like, okay, where can we start? How can we be a part of this movement that you have started, and how can we really, yeah, just like take these kind of small steps as artists, especially at the beginning stages of like we're just starting to sing, we're just starting to act, and we're still building confidence in ourselves as artists, as creatives, might not even
Yeah.
call ourselves an artist yet. We might not even have the courage to say, like, I'm an actor yet. And so, from that point of view, how would you define like equity versus non-equity and like those kind of some of those terms? You explain like a union call or non equity call, EPA, ECC. But if you could just like break down a few terms that you think are like actually like most essential, like just know like this is what this is and this is what this is. Um,
Oh, yeah.
that way we can kind of like start from there. No, you're good. You're good. Let's start from there. And then we're going to get into the community aspect of it and why that's so important for actors.
Absolutely. Okay. So I think a couple of terms I think any actor should know is one, you start out non-union and then you go in at some point your resume or you feel like that you are able to be a part of equity because now what equity has done is that they've done open access. So if you've done one professional show where you've been paid, you get to join equity. Equity is a union. So they work on which they and I really do believe I, the union does a great job trying to protect actors as best as they can. And there some things have to change, but I do think wholeheartedly that they do have a great idea of like what they need to do to help other actors out there.
Mm.
And everyone at some point, not everyone, but at some point I will join the union, but there needs to be some things that need to be changed before like that happens. And right now at union auditions, it's kind of you like sign up online for a union audition, and other union actors aren't even being seen at those auditions, and so it's and you pay for it, like you pay a yearly amount.
Yeah.
And if you're like paying for something like that, then and it's like not working properly, then it's very expensive. So how is that accessible, and how does that make sense for the actor that doesn't have a lot of money?
Right.
Yeah, so there's one. Another one is 32 bar and 16 bar and 8 bar cuts.
Yeah.
32 bars, when you take out your music, usually at every audition they'll ask you to sing a 32 bar song. If time is like, oh, we're kind of crunched on time, it'll go down to 16 bars. And then if we're really out of time, they'll ask you to sing an 8 bar. And I
Yeah.
appreciate them wanting for us to be in the room, and I think that's so great. But like, you're literally singing like 5 words. You're like, "Thank you so much," and then you go. That's it. But for like a bar, like for like really what that is, your music sheet will have like these like spaces, and then you'll just count those 32
Yeah.
or
Measure.
16 or yeah, the measures.
Yeah.
And what's another term? I mean, the monitor and the holding room. So the monitor works for equity when you go into a ECC or an EPA. ECCs is an equity chorus call.
Mhm.
EPA is a principal call. So like the leads will be going
Yeah.
there. ECCs are usually less busy because everyone wants to be the lead. So EPAs are a lot busier, which really cracks me up. But
Mhm.
when you go into that room and you sign up, there'll be someone there saying, did you sign this list? Blah, blah, blah. And that's the monitor. And the monitor does not work for casting, they work for equity. So they are there to make sure all of the rules are in play and that everything is equitable. And something that really we're working on is like making sure that there's set language at these procedures, because sometimes someone will say something and it'll be like, wait, that's not what it was last
Yeah.
audition. And now I'm so confused because I thought I was doing the right thing, as in signing up at a certain time. And like now there's an afternoon call and I have no idea I was supposed to sign up for that. So if there could just be a set language, which I know equity monitors do, they have like meetings, I think, every a couple of months or something to make sure that happens, like that there's like a set language. But they're people and they're actors, and like I can't be like, what the hell, you're saying it wrong, like that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But it's just an idea of like, okay, if this is true, and if we have like this guidebook out for actors that's like free, that the equity would put on their website, so then people also know what is going on, where they don't feel like this is such a close knit community and I have no idea
Mhm.
where to go and where to find this information. But everyone knows not everyone, people know what equity is. So if they have that on their site, they would be more aware of what's going on and what the rules were.
That's true. Yeah, that's good. Thank you for breaking down those terms. I think that's really
Of
important to
course.
hear. And you broke down terms that are like very relevant to auditions and whatnot. So looking at the letter, and so like basically what you're wanting to do is make things more accessible, more equitable, um, to the list itself, to the way that like signing up for the list is, and also the way that like non-union actors are just like involved in the whole audition process, but it's like
Yes.
for the audition,
Yes.
which is like professional auditions basically. So I have in front of me the three main things that you want to really have happen. But if you want to break them down, you can. Like, what are like the main things? You already talked about them a little bit, but what are like the main things that you definitely want to see change, and how does this affect actors? And like, why should we be fighting for this kind of?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and also on like the flip side, people are like, well, why you can just join equity? And you're like, okay, yes,
In
but
theory, yes.
there will, yes, in theory, yes, but there will, no matter as much as equity wants to change like tours to be equity or other regional houses to be equity, that would be amazing. But for right now, there is it's not going to happen. And so we also have to take care of those actors as well. Even though they're not part of the union, equity is about all inclusive, like all inclusivity. And if you are focusing on all of the actors, they will want to join you. And if you are looking for more actors to pay money for your union, this is how to do it because you are now guiding them on like this is the passage you join non-union and non and equity does take care of you a little bit on along the way, and then you join union and you're like, okay, I love this union, they've taken care of me from the very beginning, why would I not join it, you
Yeah.
know? But there
That's
are other
actually
people that
smart.
are like, thank you. We've all
Very
talked about
smart.
this
That's
a
actually like a
lot.
very good, that's like very good business. Like that's something they should listen to you, Spencer. Like
Oh,
this
thank
is
you.
very smart. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you. I mean, it's really all to say for these people that show up this meeting all the time. I mean, honest to God, we talk about this nonstop, and I'm
Yeah.
so grateful that people show up. But other things that I would love is like the guidebook that we're going to be creating, sent to different colleges, and
Oh,
so
smart.
people that are maybe been out of the industry, because like listen, your teachers are going to tell you one thing, but our industry changes so quickly. And if it could just be a little like, hey, here's someone right now that this Oklahoma City University has no idea kind of what's going on. They don't have any new professors or adjunct professors in there. Hey, here's this guidebook that Equity also has their information in there as well. So you know what's going on with the union, and then they're able to share that information. So if they go into an audition, they're like, they are aware of what's happening and they're not like, oh my God, like, where am I? Like, what's happening? And I think that's only fair. Um, this information is like all on TikTok. And if you really search for it, you can find it, but it's not, I don't think it makes sense to like not have it like point blank on on like a PDF, you know?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's so good. You're literally fighting to make it so that everyone can understand and be part of the whole audition process, the entire process of being an actor professionally, whether you're a non-union or you're in the union, period.
Ab- Absolutely.
I love
And the way, thank you. And like the way people have talked about, there's like a part of if you sign your name on this petition that we're talking to Equity about, there are union members that are like, this makes sense. Like, why would we not help non-union actors, um, help them with the non-union list, maybe make it digital instead of going downtown?
yeah.
We are in the 21st century, everyone.
It
It
only makes sense.
it does. And there, I understand like we can't just like make a website and whatever, but you can use a sign up genius. And if you share that information like on playbill.com, if you find those auditions on playbill.com, which is free, just say, okay, at this time on this date, this list will be up. You can sign up, and other houses like regional houses do a sign up genius. You sign up, and if you don't get in, you don't get in, and that's okay. And then but then you know that you're not wasting your time waiting in line for this thing that, what if you aren't seen? And then, which it is a possibility, if you go audition at this, sign up on your name on this list at 4 a.m., it's possible you won't be seen, and you just wasted so much time and energy that's so important for an actor, because one, they could have taken a job, they could have nannied somewhere, they could have went into being a sub that day as a teacher, they could have done all these things making money, and then knowing that they aren't being seen, okay, that's fine because I didn't have to wake up at 4 a.m. to sign up on this list.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, so that's kind of the gist.
Yeah, there's so much So many good things. So we'll definitely link the link to the Google form below. So that way
Amazing.
you can click on the link and sign up and sign
Yeah.
and and support and really, like you said, like impact the next generation of actors. And that kind of like brings me to the next thing, which is like again the point about community and what's
Hmm.
so important for us as artists and actors to connect with each other, to support each other, especially like even like for younger artists to see like, oh, like this industry that I'm going into, like there are actors that are supportive of each other, like they love each other, like they are helping each other. Like I don't feel like I'm gonna be like so alone if I go into this career, you know. And so
Yeah.
you said like something about, yeah, you mentioned how like it's so much of the time the focus is on like me, myself, because it feels very cutthroat of like it's only one role, there's only one star, and it's like it has to be me.
Yeah.
But like the sky is full of many stars. So there we're all stars. We can all be stars in our own rights and in our own ways. And so we as artists, we as actors can and should support each other in community. So what is like community, do you feel like what has that done for you as an actor in like whether it's like building you like confidence wise, building you and like being able to like you improve because you're around other people, or actually like getting like maybe you've gotten like a role or something, or like have something like really cool happen like just because you had this connection with someone that was actually authentic and you were really supportive of each other. And like how has that affected you as an artist? I feel like that's really important.
Yeah. I mean, couple of things. I knew one girl on, I've like seen her videos on TikTok,
Mm.
and then I submitted myself for this like this thing and I didn't realize that she was casting it. And she's like, and I see her photo in the email, and she's like, "We'd love to have you in the room." I'm like, "Oh my God, I know you." And she's like, "Yes, I know your videos on TikTok and I know all these things. And I thought you'd be perfect for this." So one, community. Two, like it has been kind of interesting going back to auditioning and being feeling like that actor, like I don't know anything. Oh my, I feel so, and that's why recently I was not making as many videos because I just felt like such a phony because I'm like, I'm back in this place where I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, and it's fine, and it's okay, and it's a good place to feel in like a moment. And um, what's next? Like, am I going to book something? I forgot what that feeling was like, and because you're like, oh my God, I got this audition. Okay, so then next month I'm going to do this, and you just like kind of vision your life in a specific way if you get this part, which isn't always the best thing. I don't think there's really anything wrong with romanticizing if you get this part, but sometimes you're like, okay, maybe I should like take a step back. But I was walking and this person was like, "Oh my God, you're Spencer from Limelight."
Yeah.
And
And that
they're like,
person was
"Thank you
me.
so."
I'm just joking.
Yeah.
But actually,
No, literally, like we're eating out, my husband and I were eating, and this
yeah,
person comes up to us, and I'm just like, whoa. And they were so grateful for the energy I was putting into this thing. And he's like, I really see what you're doing. And
yeah,
uh, I really appreciate you. And yeah, like that was really amazing. And I think in that moment, I really needed someone to be like, hey, Spence, you're doing good. Like, I see what you're doing. Like, uh, that's so important.
yeah.
And yeah, I mean, Jordan has been amazing. She actually took photos for the Limelight brand shoot that we did. And I haven't talked to her in a really long time. And then recently we just got together. And it was so nice to just feel like I had like this person that knew me a little bit a while, like not a while ago, but a little bit ago. And her being like, okay, I know someone, my agency is looking for people. If you need an agent, send me your stuff and we'll submit it. And like, I'll definitely like help you out. Like, that's so like, that's great. Like, you need people like that in your life. And I'm just so grateful
Yeah.
to have people that are so supportive. And yes, have there been people that I'm like, oh, I really like them, but I don't really think, um, I'm going to do stuff for them, but it's like not kind of given in return. And like, that's okay. Because you know what, one day maybe they'll be like, okay, that Spencer did that thing for me. Let me help her out. Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I do think it's always important to really give as much as you can to the people because I know people will see it and it's important personally. I guess that's just been how I was raised, but yeah.
Yeah,
I was a Girl
1000%.
Scout.
That's so good. No, 100%. Like, definitely just like, yes, like your community, like the people around you, you support them, you give to them, and be willing to also receive too, because you know what? They're happy to support you too, because you have a genuine relationship with each other. So I love that you talked about that. Not only like you're in real life community and how like that's amazing. Like you have people who are there like really supporting you, but also like even online and how, someone like just saw you and was like gave you that word of encouragement that you really needed at that time. And maybe that's all you needed from them, right? And
Literally, it
that
was
was so
nuts. I
worth
like
it, right? Yeah.
we literally I walked home with Jake and I was like, oh my God. And I like started getting emotional and he's like, whoa, like he's like, okay, Star, hello. But I was so, it I and he saw like he's like, you really needed someone. He's like, and of course he's a really awesome partner, but then sometimes you just need someone else to say something. And that's so like if this person knew like what they did and helped
Yeah,
me in that moment, like it's really important. So yeah,
that's amazing.
it was great. Yeah, it was really, really
Yeah.
good.
I love that. I'm so excited for you. And do you have like one to two or maybe like three, like what are like the top like 1 to 3 tips if you could give like tips for, because you've built an amazing community online. You've built an awesome community of other artists, which is so important. I think like using social media as artists is so important for us. If you had like any tips for anyone who's like just at that beginning of that journey and they don't have that community of other actors in real life or online and they don't really know where to begin, you could do separate ones, like maybe like 1 point for in real life friends, like how to make other actor friends in real life, and then also like
Yeah,
online, like how do you start building a community if you do want to start, just sharing your journey a little bit, or you want to meet other artists like virtually, or you want to, start whatever, like you want to do something and you want to have that like online platform and connect with other creatives virtually, like how you start
totally.
Instagram or that TikTok? Like, what are some tips that you have for that community building for someone who's kind of just starting out?
Well, like first, like when you're just gonna have to be brave and feel a little uncomfortable because doing whatever, like stepping out of yourself is it's scary
Yeah.
and like it's silly to like me like I'm like I don't want to post this video and you're like why not like everyone else does it like it's so silly and like sometimes you have this like weird feeling
Yeah.
um you're like oh this isn't good enough oh my God I'm not going to post that and you're like but yeah you can and you should and that's what you are you're an artist like you're allowed to be creative and you have a free resource as in Instagram and TikTok and you can do and post whatever you want on there like that's amazing and anyone can see your art and your creativity.
Mm.
So one, be brave. Two, I think a way for you to meet someone like in person, go to auditions. That's where I met in the very beginning some people because and we're all like, do you know what's happening? And then you just be like, do you want to go out after and get coffee? And that's oh just hey, do you want to grab a coffee? Easy, organic, simple. Or I don't really drink coffee. I like tea. So do you want tea? Or a juice? Um, I think that's a great way to meet people. I mean, if you're in a show with people, that's another way where you're going to be meeting tons of people and having some really good experiences together. I guess online. I mean, listen, if you want to talk, I'm at Limelight, so I'm here. Like, please, if you need uh, a community I think I mean, it was hard for me in the very beginning to find people to see who I really like jived with. And it wasn't very like, it's about me and finding like friends. And I think in a way, like doing the non-union list and having that Zoom meeting has really helped. So if you want to come on, have and there's like people that have they're like, I'm a new actor and I have no idea what's going on. And then just sharing the information with these people, I think it's still great. And that's a way that you can meet people as well. Um, Going to dance class is another way in person where you can meet people. Yes, it's a little scary, but you can be like, oh my God, together. And that is a very big strengthening friendship bond that you will make. um, and then I guess what else online? I mean, it it's so crazy because I feel like our industry, there's so many amazing creative people. And it's hard to find like a group of people.
Yeah.
I'm real I think that's I don't really know like online. I mean, follow the people that you really love and that you're really encouraged by, and if you have questions for them, why not ask them for a cup of coffee or something like that and try to gain like an organic relationship with them. Obviously, like not wanting like I want you to shout me out on your videos, like maybe not that, but like if you really want to have a sincere relationship with them, yeah, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the sincerity is the most important part. Like genuinely, like these, just connecting with other human beings, like other people that are inspiring to you. You just
Mm,
never know what could come next. And I think the whole part about building community online too, like just over that first initial fear that you have when you're about to post something, if you're wanting to start on Instagram or TikTok, I love encouraging people to like share your like singing videos and like share singing covers because that's what I remember when I first started doing that. I like never shared myself singing on my Instagram before, but then I was like, I want to perform more. I want to sing more, and it was like COVID,
yes.
and I was like, well, I can literally do that with my phone, like if I just put myself out there. So just put yourself out there. Yeah, it's hard, it's challenging,
And
but
when you did, you sounded so good.
oh, thank you.
I was like, oh my, I like never, we were just talking about this, like when she posted a video of her singing, I was like, oh my God, I wouldn't like, I'm not brave enough to do that, which is like so,
You
like
can.
so dumb. I know, but you can, but
Yeah.
see, really like that's the thing, like you can, like
Yeah.
there's no holding back. Like you
1000.
have the opportunity to.
Yeah, and you never know who could see it, and you never know who could be
Mhm.
inspired to start singing
Mhm.
too. And there are so many beautiful things that can come out of just sharing your art and sharing your
Oh,
journey. So I really encourage, like,
yeah.
just like if you know that you want to be an artist and be a performer, put yourself out there in that way, and it will kind of force you to build that confidence over time, which is so cool. And also, like what you're saying, like in person too, like going to auditions, dance classes, being in shows, like my theater community that I have in North Carolina, like it's come from that too. Um, and that's wonderful. Like that community of artists is just beautiful because of like being in a show or like um going to an audition or literally going to dance class or voice lessons and stuff. So yeah, just putting yourself out there in those ways, it may seem big, but it pays off, and you build that community, which is so important. So
Oh my God,
love that.
yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And definitely following Spencer on Instagram. Spencer, tell us where everyone can connect with you and also connect with the more, learning more about the non-union list and what you're doing. I definitely want everyone to just like run over and get to learn more about what you're doing, which is so cool.
Oh, okay. So, my Limelight Instagram, oh my God,
Mhm.
is Spencer and Limelight because I felt like it was just like Limelight app and everyone's like, who the heck is this? So I just put my name there too. So people are aware. And it's the same thing on TikTok, Spencer and Limelight. And then my personal Instagram is Spencer M. Martinez. And I really, really don't post on my personal as much. But we're getting there. This is like you're you're now experiencing the new Brave Spencer. I feel really actually after this conversation, I feel really inspired to just like take my own um information that I just shared and um and like, why not? There's nothing wrong with sharing something. And
Yeah.
I think there's some good things about it. And um, yeah, and also be so kind to yourself.
Yeah.
You deserve the kindness as
Yeah.
what you're giving to others. You deserve that as well.
Oh, 1000%. I look forward to seeing what you end up posting. I'll be watching.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be
Yes,
waiting.
no.
But yeah,
Yeah,
no
but
pressure. No pressure. Yeah.
all of the education that I usually
Mhm.
post is on my TikTok rather than there's something about Instagram Reels. They really scare me. I gotta say, it makes me a little
I
I
don't
don't know
blame you.
why.
Something about TikTok is like more calming and like less pressure, I feel like, than Instagram. I don't know
Right?
why, but yeah, it's you're not alone in that. But I'm like trying to do
Good. I'm glad it's not
both.
just me.
Yeah, I'm trying
Yes.
to do both, mainly my personal page because I was like, well, why not? And then like my studio, like podcast page, I still like share on there, but like mainly I'm like just like focusing on community on my personal page and then like I
Yes.
people there as needed, but like yeah, and then TikTok too. Um, yeah, but trying to
It's a
like
lot.
yeah, just trying to like figure out like what is each one, what does each one mean for me and like what do I want to do on each one and kind of figuring that out. It's a process, it's a journey, but
It
we're
is.
we're doing it. So
Yes.
yeah,
So proud of you.
thank you. Thank you so much for sharing where everyone can find you and follow you. They absolutely should. And you already gave us so many tips, but I always ask the last question is like, if you just had one more piece of advice for anyone, one last piece of advice. I remember what you said last time was like about like just go for it or like something about like not letting fear stop you, which I remember.
Oh, I think it was feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yes,
That's
yes,
usually,
yes.
yes, that's my mom. My mom says that
Yes,
to
it
me
was
all the
your
time.
mom. Yes. And you're allowed to say
Mhm.
that again and reiterate that again because we all
No,
hear it. But
I feel
if
like
you
it's just
have
something fun.
one last piece of advice for the artist, the actor, the beginning singer, actor, performer, creative who's listening, just one last piece of advice and we will close.
I think there's like this since I've been doing some self-tapes recently, and you are allowed to laugh at yourself because oh my God, we are singing in front of a phone. And I think my neighbors think I'm crazy. So, and there are times where I'm like, this is so nuts that you are get auditioning for a show. You're allowed to sing and you get to portray this person that you're not. And and you're allowed to laugh at yourself if it doesn't go right the first time or the second time. And that's okay. And but also think about how lucky we are that we get to do those things.
Yeah, I love that. That's so beautiful. Definitely laugh at yourself. Be willing to take messy action. I love that. And like
Oh my God,
perfect and
that's the
just
way to
like
go.
pushing, keep pushing. Yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Great advice as always. Thank you so much, Spencer, for being here a second time. I don't know, like very rarely have I had anyone here more than once. So I think you're like the second
So
person
lucky.
maybe. So
Oh my
thank
God.
you so much for doing us the honor. You're just such a beautiful ray of sunshine. And I just am excited that we got to chat with you again and learn more about what you're doing. Everyone, make sure you sign up on the list and support and let's, impact the next generation of actors and ourselves as well. So yeah, thank you so much, Spencer.
Thank you. I'm so grateful for you to have this community. Oh my God. Everyone is so lucky for you to have a podcast like this. I wish I had this when I was just starting out, for sure.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, bye.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode and to this show. I'm so in awe of you for being here and showing up for your creative gifts. That takes courage. Don't forget to join the performing arts community on Facebook for support and inspiration as you continue on your journey. If this episode helped or inspired you in any way, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and share it with someone. It means so much. Thank you again, and don't forget to keep singing, acting, dancing, performing, and living creatively. Talk to you next time.